So Kevin Stefanski was asked who influenced him as a play caller, and who does he model his play calling after?
I'd upset somebody if I gave you one person. I mean that, Zach. I was so fortunate to be around different people, different philosophies, different personalities, different schemes. So I've tried to take everything from all those guys.
You told us about when you became the play caller. It was like, whoa, I mean, is it something you ever worked on before or envisioned, or was it just like, this week I have to come up with a game plan?
Played quite a bit of Madden growing up. No, I think any coach, period, you're calling the plays with the play caller throughout the game. Hey, I would call that. I really like that call. I wouldn't call that. And I can't tell you how many times as a young coach I'd hear a play call come in and be like, "Ooh, I wouldn't call that," and then 1st and 10 or touchdown, So I think all of us, when you're not calling the plays, are in that rhythm, thinking about what you might call next. I know for us, offensively, and even Joe defensively, I think it's really a really collaborative effort on game days. Ultimately, I'm making those calls, Joe's making that calls, but we have a lot of help along the way.
And Dan, he always makes sure that he tells everyone that it's not just him calling the plays. The offense last year, it made sense. You kind of understood, how they were getting from A to B to C to D, and that hadn't been the case the two previous renditions of this offense.
Right. And look, I think the one point you made there that I think is so important is we've had so many offensive coaches come through here that you think, you hear them talk about take victory laps when a play works, or, oh, look, I created a touchdown there. You just don't hear that from Kevin Stefanski. And the reality is he's probably the one guy who could sit up there and say, my design, my scheme created that touchdown or that first down. So I think that's a credit to him. You just go back and watch some of the things he does, the way he can manipulate motion and personnel groupings to, there's a play against Washington, I remember, where he managed to get a linebacker on Odell Beckham Jr., just using a certain personnel grouping and then motion. In the Kansas City game, there was the touchdown to Jarvis Landry, but if you watch it again, you see Donovan Peoples-Jones come out as a run blocker and play action and then release, and he was wide open over the middle. It's things like that you just notice. He's so good at hunting matchups, setting up receivers to be successful, making the run look like a pass and vice versa. It's based on what he said there playing Madden. I guess it's a victory for all of us who spent way too much time playing video games when we were younger.
He learned well enough and can probably beat the computer now at that. So.